All right. So, welcome everyone for session 3 of the creator track here at AWE Day 3. Don't forget to hashtag all this cool stuff at AWE 2021. Take pictures, share the awesome work that's going on, the exciting things, and I'm sure our next speaker will love it if you talk about the cool tools and your excitement around the stuff they'll be talking about from Adobe. So to go ahead and kick us off, I'd like to introduce Sebastien Deguy, who's the VP of 3D and Immersive at Adobe, and a person with actually a very interesting career for those that remember Allegorithmic. He is the founder of that as well back in 2002. So definitely a person who's in the space and knows how to help artists and creatives get further along. And today he's going to be sharing with us closing the gap between imagination and XR creator tools. When you're ready, sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? Yes, I guess. Very happy to be here. Thanks for the opportunity. When I say I was ready for 2 years, I guess it's been like a long time. We haven't been in that setting. So it's very special for me to be able to be here in real life with meeting with real people, not like on a screen. So I changed a bit the title, and I gave this title called Substance to the Metaverse is, whatever the definition. And Substance is the brand name of all the products that we released at Adobe around 3D and immersive design, in fact. So thank you again for having me today. So the big thing, I guess, the big message I want to convey today is that Adobe is going 3D. And that's it hasn't been the case for quite some time. Adobe is famous for Photoshop and PDF and Illustrator and video products also, like Premiere, After Effects, but not for its 3D products. It's a space that Adobe's been like investigating slowly, but lately the trend has been like changing, and we're accelerating. We're going big in 3D. By the way, that image, I don't know if you recognize the tools from Photoshop in 3D, in fact. So that's a good illustration of this idea. Like we're like big in 2D, going into 3D. And how do we do that? Like we've introduced a few things, like to respond and to answer like the needs for creatives that we could see among Creative Cloud users, but like at large, really. And we categorize the trends that are fueling the needs and the growth of 3D right now with these three trends here. What we call 3D for 2D, what we call the interactive real-time 3D experiences, and the horizon of the metaverse. And actually, the biggest need is for the first category, and we don't want to forget that one. Like it's 3D for 2D means like 3D can be used as a mean to an end that would be in 2D, like an image or video. And there is a lot of use for 3D tools in visual effects, in architecture, in product visualization. And this is a trend that is actually exploding. And last year, the past 2 years with the pandemic, virtual photography has become even bigger than ever. And so that's a trend that we definitely want to address. And we see a lot of creators coming from everywhere, 3D, 2D, wherever they come from, asking for, okay, 3D tools, 3D content, and help in how to produce all these images now. The one in the middle is interactive real-time 3D experiences. It's what you see as an extension of the first one. Let's say for when you go online, when you want to buy a new product, more often than not, you will see now a 3D interactive little experience that lets you roam around and like just turn the thing and activate a few elements, or just like configure and customize the asset itself. So that's something we're seeing more and more. Here's an example of on Sketchfab. I think it was a Nike shoe, and there is a direct relationship between the number of images and the ability to actually interact with the product and the chance for you to sell that product. Actually, the more images you have of a product, the more interactive experiences, and sometimes just up to a point where you have an AR experience, the more likely you are to actually sell your product. So it works. It works. Images work. We knew that before, and real-time interactive experiences only confirm that trend. And then the horizon of the metaverse, obviously, it's you're all aware of what's going on here. But basically, what we're seeing is that a lot of companies are investing a lot of money in building metaverse tech stacks or worlds themselves, right? And so there will be a need for creatives and for all these companies to populate and feed these spaces with 3D content, right? And so there is still need for 3D content. So we want to address these three, and I say the horizon of the metaverse because we're still at the beginning, even though it's been here, and it's been here for a couple of decades, in fact, but now it's like we're at an inflection point, obviously, right? And so still at the beginning. We tend to overestimate the impact it will have in the short term, but we all underestimate the impact it will have in the long term. And so that's more the horizon, in my opinion. Anyway, so Adobe's 3D and Immersive, which is the new team, the new org that I'm leading inside of Adobe, and our mission is really to empower that new generation of creators who want to embrace 3D. So that's really the mission that we want to follow and embrace ourselves. And so we want to make sure we provide the right tools to the creators. And so earlier this year, in June, we introduced Substance 3D, Adobe Substance 3D, which is a set of tools and content that are here for this, for creators to be able to produce the content that will feed the 3D for 2D need, the interactive experiences need, and the metaverses need. So this is a quick video. It's a nice video showing what has been launched in June and how it's been utilized in many different areas. You will see visual effects like Blade Runner, for instance. You will see games, obviously. You will see architecture. All the verticals where 3D can be used. The Substance 3D products have been used and are used more and more, actually.
Worlds collide. We got fire in our souls. We got vibe inside our bones. It's alive. I'm about to launch the place way up into outer space. It ain't even called a race. When I'm running forward, won't look backward. You're chasing me, I got a story, life isn't boring. I call that a win. Worlds collide. We got fire in our souls. We got vibe inside our bones. It's alive. Worlds collide. We got swagger in our hearts. All this movement that we brought. It's alive.
We would have cranked up the volume a little bit, but it gives you a good idea anyway. So the 3D generation is here to Adobe, and Adobe is going into 3D, and we want to empower all creatives out there to with the tools and the content that we release. So speaking of the products that we actually released in June, it's a lot of products. It's not only like software tools like Painter, Designer, Sampler, or Stager, but it's also assets. Also, we have a beta of a tool that's called Modeler. I will show you this VR and desktop application. And also a lot of integration of 3D capabilities into tools like CC Desktop, Adobe Bridge, or Adobe Capture. And so I want to emphasize on a few of them here. First one is the tools themselves. Top left, you have like Substance Painter, for which we introduced lately a new 3D projection system that is used by most game developers out there and most of VFX houses, and like more and more in the product design process as well. As soon as you want to texture an object using a layer-based system with materials, you want to use Substance Painter, and sometimes we hear people saying materials are the new colors, right? So digital materials are the new colors, and so this tool lets you paint with these new colors, i.e. materials. The one on the top right is Substance Designer, which is like a node-based tool that allows you to create parametric materials. These inks, these new colors I was mentioning before, you can create them in a tool like Substance Designer, but you can also now, we introduced a new way of creating content like meshes themselves, like parametric meshes. In the video, you've seen maybe the chair adapting its shape to and put parameters. That's the kind of thing you can do now. You have Adobe Substance Sampler, 3D Sampler on the bottom left, which is a tool that lets you acquire existing fabrics in that case and turn that into digital material in very quickly. And the one and the last one, the bottom right, is Adobe Stager, which lets you create these virtual photographs of a given object in a given environment and very quickly change the environment, the lighting, to create like variations of that given view, and like, you can use them then to put on a website and like sell your product more easily, more quickly. So these are the product tools, but also we have these assets, and these assets usually allow for creatives to more quickly get into the world of 3D without having to learn all the tools that you've seen before. And so we have the Substance 3D asset collection. It's today comprised of more than 7,000 parametric materials. And parametric, by the way, means like you can customize them at will. So if you have a, let's say, a carpet material, this one maybe you like or don't like, maybe you can change the colors, you can change the pattern, make it more or less random very quickly from one of these 7,000 parametric materials. So actually from these 7,000, you can generate millions of different variations. And it's the same for the atlases. The atlases are collections of elements together. So for instance, like different set of grass blades all together. And so by selecting a few of them in the atlas, you can like populate a world more quickly. We also have like 2,000 game-ready 3D models. We say game-ready because that's the most demanding type of ask. But game-ready means like real-time environment-ready. So that means that if you, for instance, you use basketball, which is one of the 3D models that we have there, you can use it for a game, but you can use it for just like a virtual photograph or an actual interactive experience on the web that's real-time. There is a need for real-time, so it's optimized, it's well done. And we have also these 50 environment stages, same thing, they're parametric, and it means that you can like just change the complete lighting environment and create a completely different mood for your virtual photograph using one of these stages. They're amazing. So this is a few examples, like lately you've seen maybe some of the latest releases that we did with the Substance 3D assets that we go by themes, and the theme here was construction. I was talking about the basketball, and it's one of the objects you can find there, but the quality is really top notch, and same thing, you can very quickly start with these assets without having to go into like all the tools completely to be able to produce a first image. Also, we've released a collection dedicated to coffee, super important, and so we're pretty happy. I invite you to look at what's available, and also car design. Like car manufacturers are actually using 3D more than ever now to design everything from like the materials, the interior, the exterior, up to the final delivery of the car when you customize it, like up to your final detail when you actually buy it. So 3D is very central to the production of this type of assets now, including like real life assets like cars. All right. So Creative Cloud Desktop, I was mentioning before, in Creative Cloud Desktop, it's the app that is the hub for all Creative Cloud Adobe products. In there now, you can browse all these assets. And you can have access, like if you look on the right, you have access to all the parameters I was mentioning before for all these parametric assets. So you can tweak, you can use one of these sliders at the bottom and modify the aspect of that given material and see what it allows you to do. And then if you're happy with it, you can download it and then use it into the product. So that's one of the first integration we've done. Also, Adobe Bridge also now supports the parametric material format that we call Substance Materials, SBSAR. And so you can very quickly manage hundreds of or thousands of these materials in Adobe Bridge in a very simple way and send to the applications directly. So that's also very, very handy. And Capture, we will soon launch a closed beta of a new way of capturing materials using your phone, right? And so it's an app on your iPhone, or I think it's only iPhone, maybe Android, I'm not sure. But you can capture from a single photograph an actual material. So again, like that carpet, you can take a picture of that one, and it turns that into a full PBR material for you very quickly. All right, so I was talking about like the Substance 3D Modeler, which is in beta right now. It's in closed beta. It's a new tool that we are about to launch and release soon. I guess at least in an open beta format, like hopefully early next year. And it's a modeling tool. It's a sculpting application, and it's coming from actually the acquisition we did of Medium from Oculus a couple years ago, when this tool is a VR sculpting application. You have to wear a VR headset to sculpt in VR. And the great thing about VR is obviously you are with your creation, right? You all know that. And for sculptors, for whom the sense of scale is super important, being with your creation is incredibly effective actually to sculpt. The thing that we wanted to do with that tool is to turn it into an even more powerful tool, but also something that allows you to go from VR to desktop, like in a very easy way, because maybe you don't want to wear the headset all day, right? So if you're a professional, it's maybe your work, but still, you want to be able to just like take the headset off, put it on the table, and keep going on the desktop. So the next video actually shows a bit of that workflow. So here's the tool. Ooh. Okay, let me see. Can you try? Yeah, thank you. All right. The good old PowerPoint bugs. Blaming PowerPoint. Anyway, so that's. Can you go further maybe? Just like. And then hit play again. No. There you go. Well, anyway, so that was you've seen the VR way. So you were in VR, and that's the desktop version. But going from VR to desktop is only like putting the headset on the table, and then you can use the mouse and keyboard and not the 6 DAF inputs. So it's a different type of controls, but like maybe more adapted to very detailed hard surface type of work like this. And compared to what you could do in VR. So having both environments is something that we wanted to have, and maybe this is something we're open to, like allow for more of our tools, actually. So we want to embrace that as well. So that's the idea. You can maybe go. Yeah, it's fine. Let's pass this one. Sorry. Few things I want to mention before I wrap is we definitely want to keep all of our Adobe tools open as interoperable as possible. And for this, we are participating in like industry standards like USD. Actually, the new senior director of engineering in my team, in my org, is Guido Coroni, is coming from Pixar, and he was one of the brains behind USD in the first place. And so USD is now used by NVIDIA and Luxology or Foundry, Autodesk, Side Effects, Unreal, and more. And so it could prove very handy to have some way to exchange all the models, the meshes, the content you create in all of these tools and flow without boundaries. So it's very important for us, and we want to keep the system as open as possible. One thing I wanted to mention also before I wrap is this, like 2D plus 3D. We all are passionate here about like 3D, metaverse, and this thing we've been like pushing for years or decades even sometimes. But it's interesting to witness that like 2D also always still has a part in design overall. And at Adobe Max a few weeks ago, I don't know if you've seen what we've announced, but in Illustrator, you now have the ability to use one of these digital materials I was mentioning before and do a rendering right within Illustrator. So people can now, Illustrator users can now define, like the top right, for instance, is a good example. Top right, you see these basic shapes that have been drawn in 2D, and then they apply like this concrete material, and by combining them together in a smart way, they can produce this type of 3D, full 3D rendering. It's interesting, like the same one, like that tweet was amazing to witness. Same thing. They produced that image of that early Mac in Illustrator using only 2D shapes and applying these digital materials and doing a rendering, a quick rendering of these. So 3D and 2D are like best buddies and should be. And this is why Adobe is so bullish and believes so much into 3D as a complement of what we're doing in 2D already, but also as a strong like lever we want to use, obviously, for creatives to have both of the best of both worlds, right? And so in combination, it's making a lot of sense. Anyway, so that's us. We're here. That's the message I wanted to convey. Adobe is going to 3D. We're here to help. We're here to build the partnerships. We have some of our tools running on Oculus. We have partnership with NVIDIA and people like this. You've seen for USD and for Omniverse. We're open to building more of these partnerships and to make sure that we provide the right tools for the artists to create the fantastic world we'll see in the future. And that's it, I guess. Thank you.
Awesome. And thank you very much, Sebastien, for showing us the tools that Adobe is creating and things like that. Given the time, we'll ask, will you be available for any questions out front?
I can be, yeah.
Of course. So, of course, if you have any questions for this gentleman, please just meet him out front of the door here. And then in 8 minutes, we'll go ahead and get started with our next session, which is Holographic Creator Magic. It's going to be a panel, so stick around. We'll see you in about 8 minutes, and thank you again, sir.